As dawn touched the horizon, an amber light slowly spread across the African savannah. The last dewdrops glistened on the blades of grass before quickly evaporating in the rising heat. To the east, a herd of zebras silently advanced toward the new pasture. Their interwoven black and white stripes made the entire herd seem like a single, indistinguishable mass. The adults walked in wide rows, while the young were always kept in a safe position within the herd. They grazed while constantly raising their heads to observe their surroundings. For zebras, foraging never meant letting their guard down. Not far away, a herd of giraffes strolled leisurely among the acacia trees. Their long necks allow them to easily reach the tender leaves out of reach of most other herbivores. Occasionally, one stops, gazing toward the horizon as if listening to something the earth hasn't yet told. In another part of the savannah, the ground begins to tremble slightly. A herd of elephants appears. The lead female elephant slowly leads her family toward the watering hole. Though not fast, each step is firm and steady. Decades of memory allow her to pinpoint the exact location of the remaining water sources during the dry season. The baby elephants happily ran around their mother, using their clumsy trunks to play with the grass and mud. Occasionally, they bumped into each other, then continued playing as if nothing had happened. But peace rarely lasted. On the edge of a tall clump of grass, a few pairs of round ears twitched slightly. A pride of lionesses lay pressed close to the ground. They blended almost completely with the dry grass. Each lioness's gaze was fixed on the herd of zebras leisurely grazing a few hundred meters away. For lions, strength doesn't lie in sustained speed. The key to success is the initial distance. An old lioness slowly crawled around to the left, silently crept along the low bushes, gradually narrowing the gap. Years of hunting together had turned coordination into instinct. Meanwhile, the zebra herd continued to move. A playful young zebra left the group a few steps to chase a butterfly flying close to the grass. Two lionesses leaped out of the bushes at top speed. The zebra herd immediately turned and fled. The ground shook from the hundreds of hooves. Dust swirled up in large clouds, obscuring visibility. The black and white stripes blend together, making it very difficult for predators to focus on a single target. This is the zebra's natural defense strategy. A lion is relentlessly pursuing it from behind. The lion prepares to deliver the decisive pounce, taking the prey's flank. With its claws digging into its flesh, the zebra roars in pain, trying to fight back with thunderous kicks of its hind legs to escape. But the lion's encirclement leaves the zebra with no escape from death. As the sun rose higher, the heat began to envelop the land. On a riverbank not far away, the water was almost still. A few antelopes and warthogs made their way down to the water's edge. None of them noticed that, just a few meters away, a pair of cold eyes were silently rising from the water's surface. The Nile crocodile was almost motionless. It didn't need to chase. It didn't need to reveal itself. For this ancient predator, time was always its most reliable ally. The sun was rising to its zenith, transforming the savannah into a shimmering sea of heat in the hot air. The zebras, after their morning chase, had stopped in a patch of low grass. They dispersed into small groups to graze, but the distance between them remained close enough to react if danger arose. Instead of wasting energy, they rested in the shade, waiting for the temperature to drop. For lions, patience was always more important than prolonged chases. On a rocky slope, a leopard silently emerged. Unlike lions, leopards live and hunt mostly alone. It moved almost silently, using every bush and mound of earth to conceal itself. Its eyes constantly scanned the gaps between the grasses. A small antelope came into view. The leopard didn't pounce immediately. It lowered its body, advancing step by step with astonishing precision. Only when the distance was close enough did it suddenly accelerate. The chase was lightning fast. The antelope changed direction constantly to shake off its predator. Its acceleration was impressive, but only for a short time. The savannah returned to its familiar rhythm. In the sky, vultures began circling in wide circles. They don't hunt prey like eagles, but they are always the first creatures to detect animal carcasses from a great distance. For the ecosystem, they act as silent scavengers, helping to limit the spread of disease. By late afternoon, the sunlight softened. When the elephant herd arrived, the baby elephants immediately rushed down to the edge of the lake. On the opposite bank, the water remained calm like a mirror. Beneath the murky water lay a Nile crocodile waiting. It remained almost motionless for hours. For a crocodile, success doesn't depend on speed, but on timing. The wildebeest descended to drink water. It repeatedly raised its head to observe before lowering it. A few seconds later, the water suddenly splashed. The crocodile lunged forward with an incredibly fast bite. But this time, the wildebeest managed to retreat. The crocodile slowly submerged itself once more, waiting for another opportunity. As the sunlight began to turn orange, the lions also awoke. This was the ideal time to hunt. Lower temperatures allowed them to maintain speed longer, while dim light made it difficult for prey to detect danger. The herd of wildebeest was now moving through a narrow passage in the bushes. The lions quickly split into several directions. They focused on a senior antelope that was butting heads. The antelope struggled relentlessly, trying to find an opportunity to escape. After a few seconds of intense struggle, the chase ended. For the pride of lions, this was the result of their coordination and perseverance after hours of waiting. Each day on the savannah is a continuous series of choices, challenges, and opportunities. It is this delicate balance between predator and prey, between strength, speed, patience, and the spirit of the pack that creates the endless rhythm of African nature. As the next dawn breaks, a new story begins, and the cycle of life continues across this vast land as it has for millennia.